All right, committee reports, legislative update. Mrs. Shorter.
Yes, I do have an update. November 7th, Sunday, I went up to Columbus for the start of the OSBEA conference. Had a chance to attend some events up there, take in a couple of workshops, but the main purpose was to attend a business meeting and basically vote on the OSBA platform. And I must say that this year was one of the most contentious years I've ever seen. I don't know what's happening, in the world of education as far as just issues that people are having, but I can definitely say that there were some times where I was a little flabbergasted, and I do want to just bring your attention to one of the major items that did not make it into the OSBA platform that was a bone of contention for districts. So the OSBA conference, of course, is divided up into different regions. We're in the Southwest region. We've got the Central region, Northeast, Southeast, and according to those regions and according to the population of students that you have in those regions, you get OSBA trustees. So the bigger regions, and in the Southwest, we are considered a larger region because of CPS. CPS is coming in with 30,000. So overall, in the Southwest region, our delegates that we have participating, we get a decent amount of representation. And of course, that's the same for the Northeast region. For the larger school districts, they are considered to be the Big Six. So there was an attempt to take power and reduce voting representation of those trustees from the Big Six. And this was an idea that was brought forth by a district that's Cambridge Public Schools, a district with about 2,000 students total. We have more than that at our high school. So this was not, picking at smaller districts, but because their voices are important just as larger districts are. But this was brought to the OSBA body in an attempt to, I guess, promote the voices of the smaller districts. In the end, it became pretty raucous, and there were lots of objections, and the platform or the amendment was changing on the fly. Things were being added, taken away. It was a mass of confusion. Tempers were a little bit higher. In the end, what was realized is that, like a district like the Southeast, they had 4 trustees. And they were saying that they needed more, but when we actually looked at the per capita number, we found that they were really kind of overrepresented. So they actually had 92,000 students compared to other districts that had a total of 400,000. But the students' load was much, much higher for those other large districts as opposed to the smaller districts. So there's a feeling by some of the smaller school districts that their needs, their individual issues are not being recognized because of the large districts. And we're a large district as well. And you all understand, everyone understands that we have unique issues that come with being a large district. So there's a little bit of a battle there. In the end, someone made the motion to just table the item indefinitely. Everyone rushed to vote for that so that we could end that painful conversation. So as of right now, nothing has changed. There's nothing that's impacting the OSB trustees, so that's still the same. Now, as it pertains to the actual written OSBA platform, there was language that brought about a lot of discussion and a little bit of rancor, and this was pertaining to the section under racism and equity. So within this OSBA platform, we already specify ethnicity, socioeconomic status. We are basically highlighting everything that's already been a part of that platform. And so there was an attempt to add some language to expand those protections, or to expand equity to mean or to include sexual orientation and gender identity. So it was, it was an attempt to expand the idea of diversity, equity, and inclusion to include these groups. Now, we're a larger district, of course. We've been handling this and dealing with questions of sexual orientation and gender identity, bathrooms and all of that. We've been handling those things for a bit. We're sophisticated, right? So, in my opinion. So these are not issues that are new to us, but for smaller districts, those issues are, it's a little bit of a struggle, I guess, for the smaller districts. So that also led into that whole question of the trustees board. So it's all of these social issues that are creating, I guess, a little bit of division. And the idea of who is covered and what a district needs based on its size and its population, that is a question. And so this language was just intended to expand equity, and it actually failed. You need 75% of the voting delegates to support an addition of language. And this is what our lobbyists will go off and work on. It failed. You need 75%, 72 is what they got. So that was shocking. So as of right now, the language will stay as it is, and the OSBA will not push issues that pertain to sexual orientation and gender identity. So that was surprising. And as I said, our district, we have been, at the, I don't want to say at the forefront, but we've handled these issues for quite some time. It's not something new or unusual to us. This is who we are. It is preparation for life, opportunities for all. That's where we've been. But as of right now, the OSBA as a body is not ready to make that move because there are districts that just don't feel equipped to handle these changes. So that was the most contentious item. The meeting itself lasted a lot longer. I can definitely say I was glad when it was over. And this is where we are. So as of now, everything is still as it was, and we will continue to move forward and be the strong district that we are, and hopefully be the example for other districts that are not quite where we are.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you guys have any questions?
Yeah, I do. It sounds very contentious, as you mentioned. So will they convene again, or is this just tabled for an entire year?
I see it as being tabled for an entire year. And there were very passionate people. I don't know what to say. I was surprised, disappointed, because I just think this is where we are now, and just we include everyone. So as far as I can see, the OSBA's platform is where it is until next year. And that's it.
Okay.
Thanks for allowing me to go up, represent, and
Yeah.
thank you, Nancy, and your staff for making all the arrangements. It was very smooth and glitch-free.
Usually those delegate meetings are pretty tame, but
Yes.
I did hear from many people that it was quite a circus. It
It was a
was one of the,
circus.
some people were like, I wasn't sure what I was even voting on at some point.
That's right, that's
Because so
right.
many different motions were made and,
Yeah, the Cambridge motion was
Mm-hmm.
a mess. That was not.
well, thank you for clarifying it for us, so thank you so much for that.
No problem.
And good luck with the next year. If you're volunteering to go back, then hopefully the board will send you back, because you have the patience for that, so, and you represent us well, so thank you so very much.
I could try, thank you.
Okay, Butler Tech update. Not as wild and crazy as Mrs. Shorter's update, but I did get the letter from Butler Tech today that this board will have to send a replacement for me to finish my final 2 years of my term. They're asking that be discussed before our organizational meeting in January, so they kind of have an idea of who this board will send to replace me. So maybe we should put that on as an item for board discussion at our December meeting, just to have that discussion, and then kind of give Butler Tech an idea about who would be coming so they can make arrangements and make contacts with whoever's replacing me. So, and that's, of course, due to the fact, not that I'm coming off of the Fairfield Board of Education, but because I was elected Fairfield Township trustee, I cannot continue my service on the Butler Tech Board.
Yep.
Any questions about that?
I have a comment. I thought it was actually a rule that you had to be a business owner in order to be on the board, and to my knowledge, there's only one business owner, and that's Brian.
No, that was something that they tried to put in. It was a business owner, a CFO, a CEO.
Okay.
It was something like that, or a board member. And so you could send any board member, whether they are a business owner. And then the local board determines the eligibility if they meet all the requirements. And right now, there's not a requirement to be a business owner or a CEO or anything like that.
Okay, yep, I thought there was already.
Okay, yeah, because I think that was in 2013 that the state, I think it was House Bill 3 or something.
Yeah, that
Or
was
House Bill
definitely.
9 or something, or Senate Bill 3, it was something
There was
like that, but then it
legislation.
was repealed.
Okay, all right,
So, great point, though. That is something that was out there before.
okay.
Okay? All right, Planning Commission, Mr. Begley?
We met as a planning commission, nothing that really affects the schools.
Okay. And Mrs. Gundram's not here for student achievement, so Parks and Rec. Mr. Clerk?
Thank you. Yeah, just want to encourage everybody to check out the local parks. They're still renovating. The nice weather has allowed more renovations to continue on through the fall and to the early winter, if you will. Oakwood Park has their path now being laid out in blacktop, so that's being finished. The pickleball courts at Harbin Park are done. The pickleball courts at Elijah Morgan Mansion, Gilbert Park, they resurfaced the tennis courts there to add pickleball courts there. The awning is on the Elijah Morgan house now, so it's a great place to have a banquet, a party, celebration, wedding, reception, anything like that is there. But yeah, just check out the parks that have been renovated this year. You can check out the parks Facebook page and their website, and you can see that. They've done a lot this year, a whole lot this year, and that's exciting. And still more to come, because Harbin Park's playground area is going to be renovated in the spring, and that will be done in time for the kids to play on it. And there's going to be a kind of like a little splash park there, similar to what Winton Woods has available for kids. So it's going to be really exciting what they're going to do to that park as well as new bathrooms, restrooms with heat, and locked doors. And also coming up this spring at the golf course, South Trace, they're working on expanding that, as I mentioned before, to make it more inviting for folks to stay not only after golfing, but for folks to stay or come for dinner just to oversee, eat and overlook the South Trace golf course and that, in that area there. So it's going to be really nice. Got some new food ideas, catering, cooking to come. That's going to make it very more than just hamburgers and hot dogs. It's going to be a nice place to go for dinner. And also the Parade of Lights is coming up. Tomorrow is the last day to submit your float application or registration. So any business owners, any organizations that still want to get in, you got one more day. So please submit to that. I think we have 16 floats right now. So we'd like to have more. So we got one more day to do that. And you got plenty of time to still build your float. And just encourage the community to come out and enjoy that Parade of Lights. I think it starts at 4 and leaves Sacred Heart and goes to Village Green. It's going to be exciting. Be not the park and see. It's going back to the way they did 2 years ago, where it's an actual parade. And myself and a few others. Billy, are you judging?
No,
you're
I
not
judged
judging.
last year. I made sure that what the outcome was
Yeah.
exactly what it should have been, and I hope you do the same.
Yeah, I got you. So myself and some others will be judging this year, so I'm excited to do that again as well. So I think that's really all I have. Just encourage the community to get out. Still very nice weather. Enjoy the parks. Do some walking. Enjoy the trees. We have a lot of nice trees in our parks. We are a tree city. We're actually certified with that. If you talk to Miss Tiffany Mays, the director of the parks, she'll fill you in on that. So,
Fantastic.
good stuff.
Any questions for Mr. Clark?
I know you can see the changes that they've done at the Elijah Morgan Mansion from Ross Road.
Yeah.
And that awning is very impressive, and the now pickleball courts look great.
Yeah. And with that, they took that iron fencing down, and I think you're going to see a lot of fencing coming down around a lot of the parks, and including the golf courses. Tiffany has a great perception of what most people should. If a fence is up, that means stay out. So taking down a fence is a perception of, you're welcome, come on in. A wooden split rail fence isn't going to stop somebody from crossing into the golf course. It's really a nuisance if there's a car wreck, because that one right there on Winton Road, it gets hit quite often throughout the years. So then it looks like an eyesore because half of it's down. So I think you're going to see a lot more fencing and being removed as opposed to being replaced, because it's more appealing to be inviting for people to come on in. So, yeah.
Great.
Good stuff.
Thank you for the update.